It is going down at the Thrift Project here in Philly, where you can enjoy music, food, fashion, and we need to pop out and we need to vote. There's a million ways that you can enact change. So why not do it with a little bit of fun? November 5th is going to be here sooner than you know it. It is important that we're using our voices. Make sure that you head to thethriftproject.co and register. Oh yeah, did you know? This is free. Peace.
Your emotions are hurt.
Yeah.
What is your body doing? It's working double time to create something that heals that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're making music that is like healing this, that's healing this emotional scar of yours, your body is going to work harder to give you the resources and things you need inside of yourself to make something.
And welcome back to another episode of Keepin It a Bean. Keepin It a Bean is a podcast that brings together commentary and conversation all over a cup of coffee, or in today's case, some tea. This is a podcast where I just want to invite you into the space that I think some of the best conversations I personally had, and that is in a coffee store or a bookstore as well. So I can sit there for 8 hours a day and just be like, oh, let's explore this conversation. So that's the inspiration of like the set design and all that good stuff. If you are new here, my name is Marquise Davon, This American Negro, Keese, never Mark. Don't call me Mark. No iteration of it. No nothing. Not with it. Thanks. I gotta let the people know.
You gotta be straight up.
They be trying it sometimes.
You gotta set the boundaries, man.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's pivotal. That's pivotal.
Look, and if you are returning here, you already know what the vibes are. Hello to niggas and niggas only. This is the space to be. I appreciate everybody's support. And speaking of support, there are two ways you can support this here podcast. You can do so monetarily and non-monetarily. If you want to support me monetarily, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Marquise Davon. That's MarquiseDavon. On there, you can get early releases, exclusive news, anything else that's coming up, other podcasts that I may be featured on, all that good stuff, and a space where I also show the other shows that I produce too. So that'll be Hung Up Pod and also Heavy as a Crown, which is a Bel Air recap and deep dive podcast that I do with my boy Skip from BK. Woo! That's a mouthful. Other ways to support me monetarily is by letting people know, like, hey, I would love for you to speak at my school or a workshop or a university or conference or panel or whatever the case may be. Those are different ways to support me monetarily as well. So if you want me to speak, I've been a keynote speaker. I have spoken on plenty of panels, moderated before, and spoke at about 6 or 7 different conferences as well. So please come my way. Please and thank you. Send your people. I cover conversations around Black masculinity, SEL, issues in education, mass incarceration, all that good stuff. So send them my way. However, we're in economic anxiety. We're all feeling it. Okay. So if you can't support me monetarily, you can do so non-monetarily. And so obviously you're seeing two very lovely faces here on this podcast. Which means you're watching on YouTube. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure to engage in the comments below, but also make sure that you hit that notification bell. So this way you always get to keep up with all the shows that I'm doing and any releases as well. And so I record and release every Sunday at 10 a.m. So grab your cup of coffee and kick it with me. If you're cleaning, put me in the background. If not, do the thing. However, if I am your Monday morning drive and you want to listen to me on your commute, you can also subscribe to Apple Podcasts or Spotify as well to keep up with the podcast there. If you give me a positive rating and review, then that is the best way to support podcasters as well. It helps us show up on different playlists, but also allows us to be in more curated conversation, and the algorithm will work in our favor. So these are really important ways to support podcasters in this moment in time. Other than that, that's enough of me paying the bills. Y'all, I'm so excited to get into this conversation. I have been a fan of this human for the last few years. One of the first artists I got to see when I moved to Philly, and that was going on 5 years ago, 2019. Yeah, 5 years ago now. And always just been like super inspired by the work that you do. I love the creativity that you place into all of your stuff. He is an artist. He is a visual artist. He does music. He is, I don't even know how else to do it. Like, you make things, you create, you are.
We're just out here making things, man.
No, truly and honestly, but it's very impactful. Also, the style icon that you are. Okay, I say it all. There's so much that I like just appreciate about you as a person. But also even in these last couple of years, being able to be more intentional with the conversation and being able to get to know you too. I'm so excited to just be a fan, and also just like be a fan not only of you as an artist, but also you as a person, because you're very genuine. You're very dope.
Thanks, man. Nah, I appreciate that, man. Mm-hmm. That's definitely, I mean, that means a lot, man. Yeah, seriously, man. It means a lot, and that's always something I always try to put forward is like, just good energy, genuine, like authenticity with everybody, and more importantly with myself, and always making sure like everything I'm doing is something that I know is coming from the soul, more than wanting like something outward about it. Mm-hmm. It's like, nah, like anything that's being made or connections that are being made, it's like these are pivotal, like home base, like things that are like meant to be, that are very like true, and not like have like crazy ulterior motives and stuff like that.
And that resonates so deeply. So first, before you get started, please let the people know who you are and where they can find you.
I'm Kam Dela, KAM space DELA, and I do a lot of things. And what am I saying? Where can they find me?
It's gonna be a good episode, y'all.
You can find me on every social with Kam_Dela, and you can also like Google me and things pop up. Y'all, I Googled my name.
Oh, how was that?
And they know my birthday.
Oh yeah,
that was weird.
Oh.
Like they know where I'm from and like my birthday and like things I've done. I'm like, bro, like this is like kind of crazy, but you know, it's
I
crazy.
ain't mad at it. What's your birthday?
July 13th.
Oh, energy. Oh, you're a Cancer.
Yeah, right. I also found out I have the same birthday as MF Doom.
And, that's big.
And that's like one of my hugest inspros, like, honestly. So that's like,
oh, dog, that's fire.
Yeah, that's heavy.
Yeah.
That was heavy.
Oh, we're gonna definitely get into that. I'm so excited, dog. Like they already know, like I love being able to talk about music, but I love artists who are also like multi-hyphenates, and the references that you are also making as well are so exciting to me. And also just seeing your progression up until this most recent project that you put out, Midnight Snack, is like, it's gonna be fun to talk about. Yeah. I know I'm not gonna geek out because I know like I try to reserve that space for due diligence, but right now I get to know you as the person, as the artist, and also understand who you are behind the art too, because I think there's so many things that are fascinating about you that I think that lend itself to the kind of musical atmosphere that we're currently in, but also driving some of the space of like, oh, as a Philly artist, like what does it mean to also go above and beyond as well? And I think
Jersey,
oh, yikes. Yikes. He said tri-state.
All good, though.
Okay, something like
good.
that. That's
Philly's definitely a second home for me, though.
I'm going to go second home. I see him every weekend now. The fuck? All right, Jersey. Clearly, I fucked up, y'all.
No, it's all up, man. That's all up, though. Like, I find that says even more about, like, the community. Like, it's like, I'm happy that I'm able to not feel ostracized, like to where, because like I feel like it wasn't like that like when I kind of first started doing music, like coming over the bridge doing things, and like people were like, oh, here comes these Jersey people, and it's like it was like, I don't know, it was like really weird in like those times, like maybe like 10 years ago, like things were kind of weird with like that, but now I feel like, I mean, it's a lot more accepting, and I think honestly a lot of that low key might have to be with Jersey Club too, like because everyone's just doing Jersey Club. And
I know you want to lean into it because I think, because I'm like, to me, I'm like, there's definitely a cross pollination that's happening here, and the inspiration is absolutely felt because I'm like, there has been such a shift of people wanting more dance music again, and really like leaning into like, part of it is like the escapism piece too, right? I think the ramifications of the pandemic made people want to engage in dance music, wanted to have fun again because we were so internal with everything that we were doing. Like there's an opportunity for us to just be like, let's be present, let's enjoy the space that we're in, let's engage with music that feels good. Like I love that K Tremine was able to come out. There's a Renaissance that was able to come out. There were like so many different, even IDK put out a dope like music project. Dog.
IDK project is crazy.
Dog, it goes hard so much.
That joint is crazy. That joint is crazy. I feel like a lot of people don't like, talk enough about that.
Oh, they overlook him way too much, and he has immaculate projects through and through each time. And so, but I think it's just in a vein of like space that a lot of us want to be in as well. And so it says something around like what we want to consume now. And so talk a little bit about that. Like, one, start off with some of your musical inspirations, and then thinking around like who you are today. How's that been like a culmination of you?
Yeah. One of my biggest musical inspirations is Prince. And like Prince is where I feel like I get a lot of my like extreme need to like just go musically like to the wall. Like, and just be like, and try a whole bunch of different stuff, and like doing everything that just comes to my mind, and just trying, like, I feel like that's like between like for like Prince and Pharrell are my like kind of like two like musical like North Stars. And it's like I'll always look at Prince for these like crazy just performance things that happen, and these crazy like musical moments, and just like wild lyrics that just kind of just feel iconic. When it's like Starfish and Coffee is like, it's like that's such a crazy song, but it's like title, but then you listen to this story and it's like, oh wow, it's like there's a whole message here, but this is a wild thing to be singing, but it's like you gotta read between the lines and like really look at what the lyrics are doing. And then it's like I take Pharrell as someone who's like this like I said, like multi hyphen. It's like singer, songwriter, producer, philanthropist, like, and then even for me on the visual side, it's like all of those like album covers, his work with like Nigo, like like those and like that era of stuff, and like how I had that little like character on like the In My Mind album, and it's like that character like was just an iconic thing, and like everybody had to make their own version of it or something like that. Like having these like things that are like there's a lot to take away and like learn from and study from that man. And it's like and then like with NERD, it's like having these like things that are like almost like very important, pivotal, canonical like side projects almost. And it's like you can't talk about Pharrell unless you also talk about Nerd, because that's where it started, and it went a whole different direction, but then he got back to it, like did all this hot shit, and then it was like, yo, we're still doing rock, y'all, like we're still going crazy, like we're gonna still do this. And it's like, that's, for me, those things are so important, because it's like understanding like every artist has multiple lives, like and multiple sides of them that they can show here, and maybe they'll reserve some of that and put that, like not do too much of that here and then do that over here, and like be like, you know, being able to kind of like compartmentalize pieces of your creativity for the spaces you want them to be in. And it's like that, I love that. And it's like, it kind of just reminds me that it's like I can be everything that I want to be, and there is no like, oh, he's just this, or he's just that, or anybody's just one thing. It's like, no, like we live in a world where we can do anything we want. And that's why I love Pharrell, because it's like he kind of teaches me like fearlessness. And pursuing multiple things, and being and having so many things to be called, and not needing to be one of them.
That is, everything else makes sense about you. No, because honestly and truly, because I think about it, and I even start out just looking at like your artwork, right? And so just taking it a step back from there, you talked around NERD, you talked about Pharrell, you talked around like the importance of like making sure like there's a holistic experience as they get to know you, but you also get to curate it based on project or however you want to communicate who you are to the world at that time, right? And so for me, I'm thinking even further back of like each piece felt cartoon, anime inspired is really where I'm at with it. And really just thinking around like your approach to first the visual, because I think that is so important, of just like how do you want to draw people in. And for me, I love like your use of color. Like you're very specific around it. And like, how does color really play a space into one, how you approach like your art and your visuals, but then also like what are you trying to communicate with the color as well?
Color, I mean, like colors are very like very real in the sense of like they trigger like emotions, or they like promote certain things. So it's like you look at like every any fast food chain almost in the world all their colors are, there's red in everything, and it's like that evokes hunger. So like it's always a very warm color palette. Yeah. So it's like you take these things into account when you're like, I take things like that into account, and like blue gives like calm. It's like a large portion of social media apps like blue, and like it gives you this calm, inviting experience. So it's like thinking about color theory as a base of like, all right, cool, how can I use certain colors to make sure like I'm getting certain messages across, and what do I want to communicate with that? So it's like with going into like almost any piece, the color is always gonna make like I kind of got to a point where an artist that I'm really inspired by, her name is Ukaribe, and I sat in one of her like basically like kind of like a Zoom like class, or like I don't know what they call it, lecture or whatever, master class, something like that. But she was like talking about like a color, like having a signature kind of color palette, and having these colors that you kind of will always use in some capacity, right? And it's like that way you can like kind of line your art up, and it's like, oh, like all this like just looks like the same artist made it, as opposed to like, and granted, there's no rules to it, like you can use whatever you want to do, but it's like I like that idea. I like when you can compare, you can put a whole bunch of my pieces next to each other, and it's like, oh, this looks like all cohesive. You know, like I enjoy that, because that's how it was when I was looking at your art, like your cover art. I'm like, oh, this all tracks, like everything just makes sense to me. And so I like the idea of having like these colors and these things that, you know, call back to something. So it's like you'll see like after a certain point, I've like even had people like just like kind of see art that I've done that maybe I didn't post or wasn't so openly, that like, oh, like I did this, like like kind of like random cover arts or whatever, and it's like people will like just like send it to me. Yeah. People are like, did you do this? And I was like, yeah. Like, and it's like, it is just like, you know, like in the having the things like that for me mean a lot is like when the colors, like the lines, the contrast, and like poly, like for me it's like my thing is like kind of like these really smooth gradients that kind of feel like, I don't know, like they feel really like interesting, and almost you don't like they're interesting, and they almost kind of make it, they give it like a little bit more like depth, and it kind of feels smooth, and then having like these textures, but then like the contrast of these really smooth gradients with like very like jagged like polygonal shading. So it's like doing like the shadows would be like super hard, like like whatever, the like a dark line color shadow, and then like really like contrasting like jagged lines for like shading. And it's like I love contrast. That's like my whole life. It's like it's just like, how can I take two completely opposing things and make them work together? And that's like how, like, I don't know, and I kind of had like a quote that really like stuck with me when I first started doing art, and it was like, nothing exists by itself, everything exists in contrast. And it's like, oh, I love that, because it's like you can't understand happiness if you don't have sadness. You can't understand being hungry and being without being full. Like you can't understand like everything has to have opposites for you to appreciate what the other one brings to you, and understanding that. So it's like I love that. I love mixing these things together. I love seeing how many different things can be totally opposite but still feel harmonious. So that's like when it comes to like color, when it comes to like these things, I'm always thinking of like how to take really opposing things and make them feel like A, harmonious, but B, like, oh, like all this works together. Like in a multiple, like, you know, even like the art installation like outside, it's like all these colors are like, they're different uses, but it's like they all work together and kind of make the installation feel like a whole nother piece. Absolutely. So, thank you for breaking that down. Like I love when artists get to like talk around the stuff that they do and like the intention behind it. But like nothing can exist without contrast. I really, really love that. Because one, that's how it is for us as people. That's how it is for us as listeners and consumers and artists. And what does it mean to put this work out? And making people understand like who you are. And sometimes it's a little complex, right? And I think around Prince, some people are just like, why do I have to listen to this? Is really difficult to listen to. But there's always an intent behind it in some cases, right? Because that's a musician's musician right there. For sure. And I love that, because I'm also thinking around like
you as an artist. Like I see you and I'm just like, okay, your stage presence, A1 day one, like top tier. And because Prince always says, like, make sure that your live performance is better than what they hear on the album. So you always want to leave people just like, oh, okay, no, I see what you did here, but I see what you did on that stage too. Yeah. Right. And that's so important, but you also lean it in with the visuals. And I love like the fun that you also have with individuals that you create, because I think that piece is important. Yeah. And I'm just like, nah, like I want to be wherever he's at right now. Like legitimately.
But that's key though. It's like, bro, like I feel like there's a time and place for everything, man. Like there's a time to be mad serious and be mad like critical about what you're doing. Mm-hmm. But there's also a lot of time you gotta just have fun, bro. Yeah. Like you gotta just make it fun. Like and that's why I kind of started like, I'll like live stream, like be on Instagram live doing like my if I'm like making a beat or like doing like vocal sessions like with like, or writing sessions, like whether it's like me, like my brother G, who we songwrite a lot with, or Don B, like
because she was through this project.
Yeah, twice. She's on. She has 2 features and did backgrounds on basically every other song other than Sake. Right. So it's like she's like and feel, and it's like but it's like we have so much fun, like like, and we'll be making really like emotional, sad things, but it's like, yo, like we're just having fun, and it's like we love the process, and it's like I feel like people get so like, I don't know, like just have fun, just have fucking fun, man. This is supposed to be a great time, like creating music. It's like specifically like the music creation process, like.
It's your passion.
Have fun, man. Like, like feed your inner child when you do these things, man. That's like what all this shit is.
And when have you always been like that, or did you have to get to that point? Because I know sometimes, like when you're in the work, you're like, I gotta make this project. It gotta feel good. It gotta be this. It gotta be this. It gotta be this. And sometimes you forget about the process. Yeah. So is there a point in time where like you may have forgotten about the process and had to find your way back to it, in terms of like loving the process?
I don't think I ever didn't really love the process. Mm-hmm. I think that was something I was granted the opportunity, or like the blessing that's just where my head was at. I feel like even from the beginning, and like even like the music I was making when I first started making music, like I was in like a rap trio and I was producing everything. Yeah. But our music was like super high energy. Right. And it was like, but it was fun. Like, and we were just like 3 really close friends making music, and and like all the songs that we did were so like just fun. Like some of them were like really funny, stupid things or whatever, but it's like that essence shouldn't leave. Right. Like that essence of what you're creating, like, and why, and the fun and the smile it puts on your face. Like for me, like as a teenager, like when I first started doing music, it was like, it doesn't matter what I'm making. Yeah. I could be making an emotional, like existential crisis ballad, and like making something super sad. I'm gonna still have fun while I'm making it, because it's like too. It's like you gotta understand, like music is extremely like cathartic, like very therapeutic. Like that is like the lifeblood of a lot of what I do, because it's like I'll be like going like I have a theory. Go for it. Like, there's a place to exercise. Come on, let's do it. Like I have a theory about music, and like why you go and listen to like I don't take somebody like I feel like a common theme with like someone like The Weeknd, or like even like Taylor Swift or something like that. It's like, oh, like they're going through a heartbreak, the album about to be fire. Yeah. And it's like I feel like there's a very very like solid theory behind that, because it's like if you're like to you like fall on your knee, like your knee gets scraped up, what does your body do? It creates a scab. Yeah. So like, what is the scab? It's your body sending extra blood cells, extra things to the place where it needs it to heal it. Right. So we're talking about, oh, someone's going through a heartbreak, the album about to be fire. What's happening? Your emotions are hurt. Yeah. What is your body doing? It's working double time to create something that heals that. So if you're making music that is like healing this, that's healing this emotional scar of yours, your body is going to work harder to give you the resources and things you need inside of yourself to make something that is healing this thing. So it's like it's weird, but it's like I feel like these songs are like scabs. Yeah. these songs are like these songs are the scabs, and they are healing these scars that we have. And it's like your body makes sure to make some hot shit.
Like no, and oh man, you're speaking to the theater kid in me, you're speaking to the nerd in me. But I think that's so real about it too, because you're talking about that, and that tracks. Like your response to that question makes sense, especially when you talk around like, I'm not doing music for the external, like it's internal in terms of like everything that I do about it, right? Because you're also creating from one of the most authentic spaces and the most honest spaces. But not only that, it's like you're also inviting others in who may feel that way too, right? And I think it's always funny because like some people are just like, I don't understand why music is so important to you, Marquise. And I'm like, dog, it's important because music also reminds you like you're not alone in this world too, right? Like if there is a song that resonates with you or so many other people, there are very pivotal things where you're just like, oh no, I know that a lot, right? It's like there's a reason that people resonate with like Charlene from Anthony Hamilton. It's like, how do I balance this work and how do I balance this love and like the thing? And I love both of these things, but like what happens when they're at odds with each other? Summer Walker Session 32, like they are very raw songs in terms of like why people love Mary J. Blige, right?
Real love.
Like, okay, yeah.
I'm searching for a real love. Dog. We all still searching for a real love.
That part. Like, and so I think about all this stuff as you're talking too, and it makes me just appreciate you even more because like even in real time, hearing more of like how you move and how you think about it. And the idea of like music and those pieces as scabs, it's just like, no, like let's go from this very real place. And now this can allow other people to connect with you in a very different kind of way. And so did you have that moment where somebody came to you and was just like, nah, Cam, like this is what you did for me?
Oh, dog, like for music that I've produced for like other artists, like projects I produced, like I produced a considerable amount of a project called Overgrown by Ivy Soul.
I know the project. Yep.
Yeah. So
fire.
We did like a listening John. They pulled it at like where was it at Atmos, and like we did like a vinyl release too, and like we're signing stuff, and people like pulling up, like talking about like, yo, like this music like saved my life, bro.
Right.
Like, and it's like obviously like it's a group effort, but it's like dang, like knowing that like her lyrics and the things she was going through, and then like my music like kind of laying this foundation for these things to grow and blossom, and like sparked the ideas for her to write these things. And it's like, you know, creating these things that like people are like crying to, people are like crying happy tears to, sad tears to, like people are like on the edge of their rope, like and feeling like this is comforting them somehow. And it's like that's what happens when you make, like I'm saying, like that from the beginning, like when you make things from your soul, when you're making things that you know are genuine from your own connections and your own real experiences, like that shines through. And it's like we can tell when you're doing some fake shit.
Right.
We can tell when this is like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like we know, it's like we know when this isn't you, and we know when you're trying to like pander to somebody, and like we know when that shit is coming from your core and it's real, because it's like no one else can do that but you. Right. No one else can do that thing the way that you do it, because no one else lived that life the way you lived it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like music at the end of the day is us like really like I don't know, it's almost like it's like you're kind of like putting a blanket over these experiences that you lived, and it's like letting them rest now. And it's like you're like,
that's awesome.
It's like, all right, cool. It's like, yo, I made this for you. Like this time in my life that was like troubling me, it's like, yo, I made this for you. Like here, like you're good now. Like now it's like kind of gets it off of you, and it's like, all right, cool, this is no longer like bouncing around. It's like, no, it's like you can rest. You're not gonna go anywhere, like, because you're always gonna be here, but it's like you can chill now. And it's like I feel like other people feel that as well. Like when you and it's crazy because music will hit you in a different way when you're going through it.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's like
I went through a breakup last year. I listened to I went back and re-listened to Kamari's project, and I said, oh, this is a heartbreak album. Let me talk about this. I went back. Destiny's Child was another album. I went back. Destiny Fulfilled. I said, oh, this nigga going through heartbreak. What the
Yeah.
And it hits me, and I'm just like, yeah, this is exactly what I need right now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but like hearing these different projects, I'm just like, oh, even shout out to Balmore, like went back and listened to Double HP again. I said, oh,
Fire.
yeah, straight fire. But I
Yeah.
said, oh, I got some work to do.
Yeah. But I feel like that's how it should be, man. And it's like, but that's how it is when you're, like I'm saying, like when you're coming from the soul, you're giving people like your experiences, bro. Like you're giving them like, it's this is the closest you can get to hearing them just tell you a story.
Yeah.
Like just straight to your face is them doing it on the mic and you playing it on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just telling you some shit that they went through. And it's like, if you're going through something and you feel like you're alone, this is the closest thing you can get to somebody just telling you, yo, I've been there for it. Like I've been there too. And it's like, here's what happened to me. And it's like, you no longer feel alone. And you go to YouTube and go in the comments and see thousands of people or hundreds of people or maybe 10 people that went through this too. And it's like, okay, cool. Like we have this little community for this like experience that we went through. And it's like, that shit is important, dog.
Yeah.
Like that's really like 99% of why I do this is to be able to make things that connect with people, that inspire people, that like that feel like, you know, maybe their voice isn't loud enough, and like to have a voice and have someone that, you know, cares about these things or wants to talk about these things or been through these things and like offer some comfort. And it's like once you like look at lyrics in situations that now you're in, and like you hear these things like totally different. I was like even talking about my project, like the Midnight Snack, it was like detailing like you know, more of a kind of one night standish like situation, but it's like it's deeper than that. And it's like it's me being like, I got what you want but not what you need. And it's like let me go, let me breathe, like I'm not what you need. And it's like that is like these lyrics. I'm like one of my boys just went through like a breakup, and he was like, yo, like I've been like I love this song, but it's like after going through that, it's like I'm hearing this and it's like, wow, it's like this whole time, like, yo, she was a midnight snack, bro. Like she really wasn't what I needed. And it was just something that I was just like, I was feeling a void for real. Which is the whole, which is
okay. Since we're there, no, because that's how I responded to the song too. I said, I thought this was what I needed. I craved intimacy, but I don't want that deep connection right now because I don't have the capacity for it. Yeah. And it was just like, oh, this is a quick fix, but it's not healing the hurt or filling the void in a way that I need it to. That feels sustainable. It's like a quick thing, and then does it really leave me feeling good after? No.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So no, I'm glad you said it because I said I'm on. Is he talking to me right now?
Yeah.
I got questions.
But nah, that's what I'm saying. It's like these things that are, you know, and it can be multiple different things that kind of fill this void. Like even like on the first song, Temporary, like it's almost perceived as if like I'm specifically talking to a woman or about some experience like with a girl or something, or whoever side you want to look at it as. But it's like I never explicitly say anything about me and a woman. I never explicitly say anything about me doing anything physical or anything like that in the intro. I left it very vague as far as content wise, because it's like everything can be filling these voids. You can there's so many different things that you can be doing. That's like it could be drinking, it could be smoking, it could be dancing, it could be but I'm saying pick your fighter, man. It's like it's these we have all these things that fill these voids that are kind of like they come and they give us this temporary peace, this temporary joy, this temporary love, and it's like it comes and it goes, it never stays. And it's like you're constantly trying to do that, and it's like that's what like the whole kind of lore around the project is kind of detailing like different pockets of like what, you know, void filling can and can look like.
Because for me, I listened to it and I was like, oh, this feels like one. I said it's also midnight. Time matters, right?
Come on now.
And this is the and that's the time where like those thoughts start to creep in, right? Like those moments of like, oh, I can't sleep. What is on my mind? How have I navigated this? So like the midnight snack could also be like those points of reflection that you may have, those points of interrogation, but also like let me lean into this thing that I believe in this moment may make me feel better, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking about that too, because I'm just like, I said, damn, this is why I hate being alone sometimes, right? Like,
yo,
this is where it goes, right? And so I really, really love that. But I love also like the use of it. Almost felt conversational with you and Miss B. Why am I bugging on her name? Dom B.
Miss B is hard.
I know, right. I said I wrote a letter. I said Miss B. Yeah, we out here. Stop playing.
Yo, Miss B is hard.
But I think about it, and I was just like, I also love that it can be in conversation with each other, because it can also be as like, was this a past conversation that was had? Is this a current conversation that's being had, or is it a conversation that you wish you would have had, right? Yeah. And so I love when I hear like a male and a female voice, and I'm just like, is this in conversation with each other? Are they also amplifying? And so I'm thinking a little bit more around like the construction of the project as well, and the inspiration behind it, because it is a short and sweet piece.
Yeah.
Which, midnight snack. We all hear. Okay, stop playing with them.
Yo. Facts though.
But in it as well, I love those moments of reflection. And so, what did you want people to take away from this? Because there are moments where I'm like, yeah, you're going through like, hey, here's who I was with. Here's what this void was. It could have been. It's only temporary. And then you get to a piece like Sake, and I'm just like, oh, this is me. Let me go outside. Okay.
Yo.
let me be outside. I don't want to think about it anymore. I'm just going to get up, put on some clothes, and go just listen to some loud music and drink and get my life the way that I need to as well. And so like, is this also connected to you in a personal kind of way?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like it's all really connected like to personal experiences, but also even like I said, it's like Midnight Snack is a companion piece to my previous EP, Food at Home. Yep. So it's like keeping the food kind of like world has been kind of fun for me. I have like other things I like am navigating that with, but it's like the kind of whole thing about like Food at Home is like it's like cooking at home. Mm-hmm. You have the ingredients already inside, like doing the inner work, and that's what a lot of those songs are about. And it's like not necessarily like go to therapy and all that. Like that's not what the project is about. But it's like me going through kind of like these relationship things and being like, oh, okay, like I messed up here, or it's like, all right, cool, I'm in a breakup, but it's like I'm good. Like I will be okay. Yep. And like then like me like on Prototype is me being like kind of really like it's like accountability. It's like, all right, cool, like this is where I messed up, like and really detailing where these things where it's like it was my fault. And then to get like to compare like Sake to song on Food at Home called No Games. The content is the same.
Oh, so it's like lying. Yeah.
So it's like the content is the same. It's like you pull up like at the function, it's lit, and then it's like you see Shorty, blah blah blah. But No Games is like I'm not trying to play no games with you. It's longevity. That's what Food at Home is. Food at Home is nourishing, long lasting things like know what I'm saying and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's like that is about
I love that.
Similar subject matter, but flipping the perspective. So like Sake is like same subject matter, but looked at from a desire standpoint. Yeah. So it's like, you want to know the afties. It's looking like me, you get a clue like Freddie and Daphne. Yeah. Like it's like
Scooby-Doo references. It's like be it for me. It's the third one that happened in like the last 3 episodes. Okay, I'm here for it because I saw the behind the scenes. I said, "Oh wait, hold on, he's speaking my language."
Yo. But yeah, and it's like looking at like it's kind of like let me just go outside. Mm-hmm. See Shorty, blow, get a little dance, go like do a little something, whatever that is, and like right after that is the Midnight Snack. So it's like kind of almost like detailing that perspective of it, but it's like all of that is kind of more like just seeing how similar the subject matter can be depending on your mind state. Yeah. So it's like where it gets personal for me is like these things was kind of like how I was like when I wrote all the songs for Food at Home, I was in a very like inner work reflective period and like but I was happy though. I was kind of like I was good. And then like I got like 2 major mink heartbreaks like mink God damn. Mean left. And it was like all right, cool. And like I'm kind of just like trying to understand like what I'm feeling and how I'm navigating this and like really like kind of writing things as they're kind of happening and almost not even like totally understanding why or like what's going on. And then it's like I look at this project like after it's done and I'm like, wow, I was really just out here like filling voids. And it's like that was my life for a decent amount of time. And it's like it's cool to like and like to go back to what I was saying before, like having these experiences, and like this song is me putting a blanket on like my like semi like villain era.
Yeah.
Like
look, we all go through it.
Yeah. So it was like it felt good to be able to be like, all right, cool, like this is who I was in like a 2022 2023 space, and be able to like kind of encapsulate that energy and kind of things, the choices I made, good or bad, you know, and like, and be able to just have something that feels like, all right, cool, but like also like I learned from this. Yeah. Like it's like, this is not like me glorifying these bad decisions. It's kind of, this is your brain on drugs. It's like, you know, it's like, this is what it sounds like and looks like when you make these bad decisions. You're feeding into something you know you don't need. You're feeding into things that you know aren't not going to last, that are temporary. And I'm detailing that. But it's like, obviously these things are fun. Yeah. Like it's like it's a fun time for sure. But that's what a midnight snack is. A midnight snack is you're up at 12. You just left the afties, whatever. You trying to go on Gerard to get some halal cart. And it's like,
I actually had that night.
And it's like, this is a great time. Like, I am never turning that down. But it's like, you're eating this at like 1:30 or something. And it's like, you should be asleep, bro. Like, you're not even supposed to be outside right now. Right. But like, you've made these decisions and now you've pushed your body to limits that you have to fill this void. Yeah. It's like, that's the same thing. It's like you're out doing these things, doing whatever, making these decisions, and it's like you've pushed yourself into a emotional corner, and now you have to make choices that are going to be very unfulfilling, ultimately, because it's like this is life. Like for me, like this is the life I chose. I chose to do this, so it's like now I've created this emptiness because I've separated myself from all this stuff. So it's like now I have to fill this with something emotionally, and then it's like everything kind of like coincides with the exact timing and how you consume or when you're consuming a midnight snack, like food wise, right? The same goes for your emotions.
Oh, dog, that was so he said niggas left you with some food for thought. Stop playing with
Hey man, that's how we coming, man.
Nah, truly and honestly, and that's again, I keep saying it, but like that's like the magic of you as an artist, because you do a lot of this in such creative ways. And one for me, I love a good food metaphor. Okay, I'm fucking with a good food metaphor every single time. But also I think it's very indicative of like where you're at, and also just speaking around the artistry and how you approach it as well. I think it's important to note, like, there's some things like I'm gonna want to dance to, but also in the context of a project, especially when it feels like now you're starting to be like, all right, there's food at home, there's a midnight snack, all right, and now here's fast food. Okay.
Yo. Take note of that. Okay. Take note of what you just said. I'm holding it right here. In about a year. Holding it. You're on something. Okay. You're on to something. You just kind of told the future a little bit. I ain't gonna hold you.
I said I'm a fan of your work, and I said if this is going where I think we're gonna. But in reality, I think it's so important because sometimes we become lazy consumers of music at times, and I think it is so dope that you are still putting so much intention behind the work that you do, and especially like thematically, it is still moving. You as a performer are growing and growing and growing, and I just feel like you're also just everywhere, and it's spaces that you want to be in because they're also pouring back into you at the same time, and that is something I think nobody can ever replicate, especially on where you're at. I said I only see great things for you, like
Thank you.
Honestly and truly, and I hope the world, and I'm excited for when the world catches up to the work that you've been doing as well, because you're already doing some amazing stuff. I love like the behind the scenes and breakdown. One thing I think is just missing has been like people just having fun with music again. And so even like your rendition of Water from Tyler, I'm like, this is so fun. Like,
it's a great time,
this is such a good time. And so honestly, like I have so much fun listening to the Midnight Stack. It was so dope being able to like hear it before it came out, but also like now that it is out, how's that been feeling for you? I know I asked you outside, but like really letting everybody know, like now that you're able to release this piece, what is that feeling for you?
It's been like, I don't know, like a little bit of like kind of like backstory with the project was like, I kind of got into basically 2022, like, all right, like I need to go on like a singles run. I dropped I dropped Summer in like 2020. I dropped Put It Home in 2021, and in the middle. And I'm like, I didn't really drop any new music, and it was like a weird time because it was like semi-pandemic. Like it was like we were outside, but not really. So it wasn't like,
should I be outside sneaky link?
Yeah. So it was like being able to even perform the songs out wasn't really a thing for like the second half of the year. So I was like doing shows in 2022, but doing stuff from last year. And I'm like, granted, it's everything's gonna be new to somebody I never heard it, but it's like I want to be like fostering new energies, like capturing new energies to perform and create and produce. And I'm like, that's what I want to focus on.
Right.
So it was like, I'm going into 2022, like I'm just make a whole bunch of songs and do like a singles run for real. And then, so I was like, cool, let's just make like 3 songs, drop like 1 a month or something or whatever, and just do a thing. So I made Feel, Sake, and Focus. Yeah. And it was like, cool. Then my manager was like, yeah, we could just like drop these 3 and then we'll just like package it as an EP and call it something. And I'm just like, it'd be cool to call it the Midnight Snack because it's like really short and whatever. And it's like, cool. But I'm like, this feels stupid if we're just packaging it as an EP and then it's just the same songs you just heard for the past 3 months. I'm like, there should be like maybe one more song when the project drops.
He said 1, but I had 3.
And I'll call it the Midnight Snack, and then like I'll just make it like a thing. So it's like when the project drops, you get a new song too at least. And it's like, all right, cool, we're doing that, getting like promos together, all the things, we're shooting a whole bunch of stuff, and then it's like, kind of get to the end of the year, project is like mixed and mastered, and we're feeling good. At this point, we already dropped Feel and like did all the visuals, and like everyone's loving it. It's a great time. And then we get into we have like the stuff for like for Sake too, and we're like working on that. Like then we started shooting the video. Starting that process.
Fire as visual.
Thank you. And started that process at the end of like shooting it at the end of 2022, like starting it like with treatment with Taj, in like May. And like, you know, getting all these pieces rolling together and getting all these ideas for promos and all these things like all throughout that year. So it was like a big, just constant like chug along this track. And it was just like we were planning on dropping it at the end of the year, and then it was like we were like, like it's not ready yet. So we'll just like sit on it and we'll like maybe like figure out something like for like maybe like the summertime or something. So all right, cool. And I had extra time to kind of just sit with the project. And then I was just like, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with myself. I feel like this is like these are great songs, and I think they'll do great things. But I'm like, I'm not like feeling like I'm gaining anything from this project other than like I'm just be two-stepping and having a good time. Which once again, great. But Love it's like but I'm like, I think there's something more I can do with this. And I'm like, I'm not like, I want to like, I can curse, right? I can curse. Yeah.
I've been cursing the whole time.
Yeah. You know what? You haven't. I'm so like media trained. Like I'm like, can I like curse or not?
Nah, let's hear it out.
But I'm just like, I want to fuck someone's day up. Like I want someone to feel bad about something. Like I want someone to feel like, damn, like I'm. Is this like you were saying? Like I'm like, is this me right now? Like, am I like?
This me? Am I working through my stuff?
Yeah, and I'm like, I need to get like this kind of needs to go in a different direction. And then I'm like, what does this even mean? Like kind of just processing everything. And then I kind of came up with the whole concept of like, oh shit, like let me like maybe make a couple more. I need like moments. I'm like, because these are all singles. Like these are singers. They're bangers. People play these out wherever. It's a great time. And I'm like, even like now, seeing the plan kind of like coming into fruition, because it's like dropping the project, going with Sake, cool, but it's like Midnight Snack and then Focus, and it's like, nah, like,
oh, bro,
that's what I'm saying. And I'm like, and like DJs hitting me up for like the music, like, yo, you trying to play Focus and like all these things. So it's like I knew that was going to be another strong single, because that's what I planned it in the beginning. It was supposed to just be 3 singles. So I'm like, these are going to go crazy. I'm like, I don't know how people are going to receive the song The Midnight Snack. I think it'll be like a cool joint. I think a lot of people like it, and a lot of people do. So I'm like, that's what's up. So I'm like, it kind of feels like 4 singles. But then like Make and Temporary were the last 2 songs that I added to the project. And it was like Temporary was like the last one, the last song that I made. And I was like, because I was like, at which point I had made Make, loved it. And like Make was started as like really was a poem. Yeah. Like the whole, like the chorus is a poem. And
I'm gonna listen to that very differently now.
Yeah. The chorus was a poem that I wrote that was literally about like kind of like little situation I was in like this time in like 2022 into like 2023, and it was like that was just how I felt. And it was like it's short, but it was like this is like the contrast of like I'm saying, like everything exists in contrast. So it's like make me cry, make me laugh, make me forget about the past, make me mad, then make amends, make a mess, then make the bed. It's like these things, like this all happens. Like this all happens in contrast, and it's like you have to accept that both of these things are just here. Like, and if you're not like willing to accept, you know, these are the terms and conditions, you know, in these things, and it's like none of these things stay. All these things are temporary, and it's like if you're not prepared to understand that, then you're just gonna get lost in it, and it's like you're not gonna know where you're at. So it's like and that was kind of about that under like that's like us being consensually like we know this is like planned obsolescence. Like this is not forever. So it's like I'm like, how do I even that, like in real life, that situation was like we knew this wasn't gonna be like some forever stuff, but then it's like we had these feelings at times that was like maybe this could be or maybe not. Then it's like we get like knocked in the head like, oh, I can't, this isn't gonna happen. It's like you see like one thing, like them do like one thing, it's like, oh yeah, no, duh, like it's like we can't be like, you're not meeting my parents, like there's no way, there's no way, that's not like, you can't do this. So it's like, but it's like you kind of like get lost in these push and pulls. So it's like writing about that, and then like I heard and like I made that, and I'm listening to the project. I'm like, cool. I have an interlude that goes into sake. It's a vibe. This is fire. And I'm like listening to it. And I'm like, still not impressed. And I'm like, and I forget what song it was. I heard something. It was something by Planet Giza. Shout out Planet Giza. And it was just this one song they had. It just came on randomly on like my like shuffle or something, or like this like, you know, Spotify will just play songs that they know you like. And then I just heard that, and I'm like, I don't have this moment. I don't have this moment that's like musically like jarring and doesn't feel like a song per se. Like it feels like you're kind of getting like slid into this universe now, and it's like there's nothing to chant, there's nothing to repeat. You're not playing this at the club. You're not playing like, it's like, no, like
I want you to just sit with this.
It's like no, like this is just music. This feels experimental. This feels like, and even like the chord progression, like I strategically created the chord progression to be extremely like there's 8 chords separated by like, you know, four measures each, like each half, and the first 4 chords, everything's really dark, really minor, and the last 3 chords really dark, really minor. The beginning of the second half is one major chord, like one very major chord, and that's when I say temporary peace and temporary joy both times. So it's like this one moment that is major, that feels blissful. It doesn't stay. It goes away very quickly. And so it's like, that was beautiful. Strategic. That was like, that was strategic.
That's the construction of a song. That's an experience for the people. Because you quite literally, not only are you listening to the lyrics, but now the production is also elevating the stuff that you're already talking about, which masterful. Like,
thank you.
Masterful.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, that was like, all right, cool. I need a moment that's like, for it's for like the music heads, I need a moment that like I would listen to something and be like, oh, like there's like, and just honestly just do this, like just be like,
nah, you did that,
okay. Like just be like, oh,
this ain't for everybody, but if you know, you know.
And I'm like, and it's like everything else was so like easy to digest, and it's cool, and it's a vibe, and that's beautiful, but I'm like, I need a moment that's gonna be like I need someone to have this as like their secret favorite track for real. Like they know they're not gonna hear
my song and my song
like,
only.
like they're never gonna probably hear this at the show anywhere, unless like literally just like doing the whole project. But it's like, if I got like a quick set, I'm not doing temporary. That's not happening. That makes no sense. But it's like you can have this moment, and it's like this is like the thing that just transits you from whatever you were just doing into the universe, and then that like strategically goes into feel, because for the longest feel was the intro, and I'm like, this is the most intro song, but I'm like, I don't want it. This starts too happy. I'm like, feel is like, I'm like, I need you to feel bad about being happy right now. I'm like, you need to be like,
let it be jarring. This is the beauty of sequencing is, right? Like, you have a very specific story you want to tell, but you're also taking us on an emotional roller coaster with you as well. And so let's actually start with it. I'm setting the tone right now. All of this stuff is temporary, right? We this feeling, this vice, it's a temporary fix. You got to do some inner work
first
and foremost before we can do everything. All right. Yeah. And so but I love that you made that choice, and I love that it was such a conscious choice for you to make too, because once again, the respect that I have for artists is like every part of the process is important and intentional, and you have done that through production, through sequencing, through lyrics, and also how you want people to receive the project. It's intending the way that you wanted it to land, right? And so I think that's so important to like name. And so, dog, I am just so impressed by you even more. I am so like inspired by you. And I was like, dog, all right, what else I got to do? All right, I'm trying to be an intentional person. What can I do now to meet this level of creativity and process and intention? So, dog, this ain't going to be the last time we're going to have a conversation together at all.
But to answer your question, though.
Oh, let's actually get to that point before I land this plane. Answer the question.
I really didn't actually answer the question. I realized that. But I had to give all of that to give context as to, because I feel like this answer is really short. But it's like, to be at this point, knowing everything that went into this project, all the choices, all the time, meticulous, like just OCD about chords and everything that I wanted to put into this. Being able to be like, all right, cool, like now it's out, because this is the closest I've gotten to actually making, like knowing I was making a project, because like I didn't know I was making a project when I dropped Food at Home. This is like just kind of songs that make sense together, and I'm like, this is a project now, and like this was like the closest I got to making, like knowing I was making a project, right? Knowing like sequences, transitioning, and being like, nah, like really having a real story to tell. So it's like, now that it's out, I feel like I am like, all right, cool, like I am in a whole nother chapter of my life now, and new possibilities, new everything, because it's like now I can finally like just breathe on this and create just different, like there's like there's a whole thing about like almost being like delusional when it comes to like keeping your ideas to yourself, because it's like, it's like it's like one of my mentors told me the most dangerous place for ideas is in your head. And it's like you're supposed to be getting these things out. They should be experienced by you or other people or whatever. So it's like, to be at this point, it's like, all right, cool. And like even like hearing you like say these things about the project and get the reception that it's been getting and people loving the project, it's like, all right, cool, I'm not crazy. I'm like, I thought this would go well, and it is. And like, okay, like I am not delusional. I did the thing I said I was gonna do, and it's out and it's here, and there's nothing I can do about it, and it's not mine anymore. It doesn't belong to me anymore. And that's like a beautiful feeling, like to be able to have all these experiences that felt so just me, and I'm just reliving these things on my Dropbox, and it's like, you know, like being like being able to just be like, all right, cool, like it's finally out. It's like I feel like I'm like stepping into just a whole nother level of my musical career and artistry, because it's like it's like kind of weird to think about it, but it's like this is only like I feel like I haven't really tried to be an artist yet. Like, like I feel like I haven't like really tried to be a music artist yet, and I feel like this is my first like real like attempt at doing this. It's like, because I feel like and doing it consistently, because like, you know, like I could put out a song and do whatever. Like I put out music, but it's like it just the energy was just different. It felt like I made music and I put it out, and I'm happy that it was out and it did the thing. But it's like I need to be like I need people to know, like, all right, cool, like he's dead ass, like he's a serious ass artist about like music artist. And it's like, because I feel like I've solidified myself in so many different things, and it's like people will see my art before they see my music, or they'll see my animations before they see my music, or see like, you know, it's like there's like certain things. So it's like, all right, cool, it's like this is like me kind of like, I don't know, like, and obviously everyone can look at it differently, but for me, it's like, not like I always knew this. That's why I always kind of felt this weird angst about dropping this project, because I was like, as soon as like whenever this drops, this is gonna be like, like these things, like the video, because I'm like, I mean, that was my first music video. Saga is my first ever full music video, and I've been doing music for like 10 plus years. But it's like, this is my first time doing like, I dropped my first personal song in 2020.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I'm kind of really like new when it comes to like doing my own music. So it's like, this is my like real like time that I feel like I'm like, all right, cool. Like, and after I internalize what I'm even like, you know, like how I was talking about, like kind of like keeping the food concept, building this thing, already thinking like 2 projects from now, like this is like, all right, cool. Like this is going to be setting the stage for everything else that's about to happen. So it's like, I knew that was like, when this happens, when this moment comes, it's going to be like, everything's going to be on go, and it's like, I can't stop it. So it's like, I have to be in that mindset. And I find that's a whole different space to be in too, because it's like, to be able to have things or do whatever and just be like, you know, just putting things out real casual or whatever, but it's like to have a moment that you're like, all right, cool, like
I'm proud of this moment.
This is the schism between me doing this like in a way that was just, you know, hey, like I'm really good at this thing and I'm just doing it, to being like, nah, like I have real goals, I have real ambitions, I'm very serious about this, and it's like I'm taking this to a whole nother level with the music, with the release, with the content, with everything, and being like, nah, like I'm making something very, very impactful, very important, and something that's gonna like change my life ultimately. And it's like, and that's a lot of that is like what fear is. Like a lot of like fear is not even so much us being afraid that we're gonna fail at something or whatever. It's like, no, it's like we know once this thing happens, we can't go back.
Yeah, there's no going back.
There's no.
What are you gonna do now that you've done the release? What does it mean to move forward? And the fear is not even like this fear of like going back. The fear is actually like, I sometimes don't know what's coming up for me.
Yeah.
And so part of it is also recognizing like what's back here, and that's always gonna hold you, is going to be your community, the people that you built. We believe in you. It's just a matter of like, now be prepared for those next steps. It's not going to be easy, and it's going to be unfamiliar. It's going to be scary, but it is also going to be worth it in the long run. And so that's such an exciting space to be in.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, even like, like having like last week, like when the project dropped, the day that the project dropped, I was a part of a music video screening for at the Block Auditorium, and they selected my sake music video to be screened there. And it was just like seeing this video on a freaking movie screen size, and I'm just like talking like in the auditorium talking about the stuff that went into the video and all that stuff, and I'm just like, damn, like this is my first music video. Like people work so long and go through so many things to like to get these things and make these things happen, and I'm just like, yo, like I'm grateful that like I was able to like have kind of the experiences that I've been able to accumulate and be able to put all of that into my first music video, and just be able to be like, damn, like, okay, cool. Like this is like a moment. Like this is like people are like really tuned into what I'm doing. Like even at when I did like cause I was on a run last week was crazy.
Dog, I quite literally saw him everywhere. I was like, okay, so he's at this DJ event, then he's outside here, then he's doing this, and now the music video is being screened here. Like,
and it was like shooting, like even like the day like I saw you at the like the BWC joint.
Yeah,
it was like that was my birthday. Literally 2 days. Those 2 days I spent like shooting all the things. I'm like dropping like all the content, all that stuff, and it was like I'm just like nonstop. And then like that whole week I was doing WXPN. I did like rehearsals. I had then like it was a screening. The same day the project dropped, and then like right after that was like shows that I'm in New York. Then I doing like I did the All Love Block Party, and it was like doing the All Love Block Party was kind of like the end of that week. And it was like the project had been out for a couple days, and then like I just get on stage, I do Midnight Snack, it goes crazy, and then I do sake, and I'm like introing, like I kind of like crowd participation, so I like them to say sake when I say sake, and then it's like I'm like introing the song, and like mad people already know know the lyrics, and I'm just like, damn, like
this is dope,
and I'm just like, all right, cool, like it's kind of those reminders that it's like, and then people that like didn't know by the end of the show were like, oh yeah, like is this out? Like I need like this song, I want to dance to this song, I want to like, you know, and it's like that's great to have that validation, but it's not what I do it for. It's like to be able to be like, all right, cool, like I put my soul into this, something really weird that I like to say or I want to hear, that people can feel like it's calling to them at some capacity,
Right.
and feeling nostalgic or feeling what like people feel different ways about it, and it's like it's grooving them, it's making them feel good and feel happy, and we're dancing like there was a point like the whole crowd was just like jumping and just having a good time, and it's like that's what I'm here for. Like we're just having like I'm trying to bring a good like it's a good time to music, for dancing, for whatever, and it's like that's like that was just a whole for me like a crazy moment, and I'm just like, all right, cool, like just internalizing like there's no going back from this now. It's like this is what it is now. Like this is me like this is me putting in effort, an actual real effort to be the music artist that I know I want to be and I know I will be. Right. And it's like this is how it starts. Facts. So I feel like the day the project dropped, to answer your question, I feel like since like the day the project dropped, I feel like that was like day one. Like this feels like day one. So I'm in like my first week. Yeah. You know, and I feel great. I feel amazing, and I'm very blessed to have the people around me that support me, and have the people that are kind of now finding me, you know, resonating and finding some type of like, you know, whatever it is, whether it's comfort, or discomfort in the project. It's like, you know, like understanding like, yo, like there's things to feel here. Yeah. And that's the important thing. Yeah. So it's like I'm happy that I'm able to like take this huge step into this 1 million step journey.
And I'm excited for the million step, the 10 million step, the billion step that you go into this space. Dog, thank you so much for stopping by and coming to the show and just talking so candidly. I love the fact that you are so passionate about your music. I love how intentional you are with your music, but also how reflective you are. Like, honestly and truly, I don't think people get to see that all the time. And I'm just like, I geek out on your social media when you post the behind the scenes shit, right? Like, and so like just to hear you even just talk at length about the process and the inspiration and what you're trying to do and the breakdowns and the choice of chords and lyrics and production and all of that, that means so much to me as like a consumer of your music and of understanding who you are as a person. Dog, I'm so excited. One, like another strong ass episode, but also for people to be able to see even more of you, right? And sometimes it's hard as an artist when you go out there and you're like, you're getting what I want you to consume, but now at least what I hope when people are able to view this episode of just like, dog, one thing about Kam Dela, he's different. He's different. Like that is you are going to ultimately be an artist's favorite artist because of the amount of intention you put into your work. And so, one, just thank you for sharing your process. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for bringing the joy and those oh shit kind of moments to my life as well, and just being able to sit and rap with you at length. And so, like, just know I'm such a huge supporter of everything that you do. If you need anything, I got you. I'm gonna be at every possible fucking concert. Like once I'm a fan, I'm a fan.
That's love, brother. That's love.
And so yeah, keep doing what you're doing because it's seen. I see you. It is so dope to witness the stuff that you're doing. And I'm just so super receptive to your art. And no matter whether I'm looking at it or I'm hearing it or just being able to experience it, like you're really him. I want you to know that. Like, please.
Nah, thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Nah, thank you, man. That means a lot, man. And I'm happy to be able to connect, to have it connect this way and you know, be received as well.
Yeah, and honestly, just keep watering your flowers, and keep smelling them because honestly, sometimes it's gonna be hard because you know the moment's gonna be fleeting, and you're on to like, all right, what's next? I'm already 2 years ahead. I'm already thinking about this, but like, dog, enjoy the release party, all of the things that are happening. Like, just know that you did that, and I hope that you are super proud of the work that you've done. So
thank you.
Yeah. Other than that, I just want to give you your flowers. I appreciate the hell out of you. I thank you.
Appreciate it.
Let the people know where they can find you.
Hey, man. Kam Dela. You can find me everywhere at KAM_DELA. And yeah, man. That's me.
Yeah. Straight to the point.
Yeah, man. We're locked in, man. We're doing the release show August 8th at Milk Boy, so it's gonna be a great time, and I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited. You can also find me more than likely around a lot of tequila. So there's a lot of tequila somewhere.
Speaks my language. I too.
There's a lot of tequila somewhere. I'll probably be there.
Look,
and like pasta for like some ramen. Wow. I'm there. I'll be there too.
Okay. Yeah. No. We got a link. You said tequila and ramen, and I was sold.
Yo,
yeah, I got to tell me twice.
Yo,
because one thing, when I go to New York, that's the spaces I be in.
Look, man. Yo, is this BYOB ramen spot in Cherry Hill called Q Ramen, and like me and Dom went there. Like,
you got to tell me twice,
bro. We had like curry ramen, and then we just had a whole bottle of tequila, and they have like they have like a cucumber lemonade.
Yeah.
Bro, like
crack.
Bro,
crack.
Tequila with that lemonade is just
everything.
Like,
that's
just
my
like
favorite
curry
combo.
ramen. Bro, we was in this bitch for like 2 hours. Bro, we was drunk as shit in this joint, but it was so fire. But it's like, yeah, that's a good time.
Yeah,
that's where I'll be at. That's where I'll be at.
Okay, tequila and ramen. Say less.
Let's talk about it.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for another episode of Keeping It the Bean. Please make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell as well. And make sure that you give the Midnight Snack a listen. Make sure you follow Kam Dela across all social media. And be on the lookout for all of the work that he does. I'll make sure to leave everything in the description box below. I appreciate ya. All right. Peace out to niggas and niggas only.
Peace.
See ya.